Hi, everyone. I wanted to spend a little time today talking to you about data and accountability. I couldn't find a resource that really outlined all the various forms of data and all of the different uses that we use as school counselors. So, you're going to use data for many different purposes. You're going to use it to understand the needs of your community, to document the progress of your program and the interventions that you're using, also to see whether or not they are effective. You're also going to use data to set and achieve your goals. We're going to discuss SMART goals specifically. And you will use it with your stakeholders to show how your programs are really impacting the lives of students, therefore the life of the school. And then, of course, the annual agreements and the SMART goals that you set up with your administration. Needs assessments are exactly what they sound like. They are assessments that you send out to really figure out what the needs are of your community. You can send them to teachers, parents, administrators, students, other stakeholders. They should be short, and they should be able to give you the kind of information that you need for any given moment. It gives you the basis for that foundation that you need for a data-driven curriculum, for a data-driven, responsive, comprehensive program. It gives your programs and the position of school counselor credibility with the school. Therefore, it is actually not just a form of accountability, it's also a form of advocacy. It helps to build a sense of community within your school because people have an input into what it is that you'll be doing as a school counselor. They feel like they're a part of the program, and it really helps to save you a lot of time. Some of the ways that we have accountability is that we can just collect data on the things that we are doing. So, for example, you may have a curriculum intervention. You can do some pre and post test evaluation. Or you may be running a small group, and you might want to see whether or not discipline has shifted as a result of that, or even attendance. Test scores, exit slips, perception data, all of these are great ways to evaluate whether or not the interventions that you are using in your comprehensive program are going to work. And I also want to take a second just to pause and let you know that all of this is going to be covered in great detail in your next class. That's going to be covering comprehensive programming. But you do need to have this information for right now for the work that we're going to do moving forward. I love SMART goals. They are fantastic, and they are very specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and time-bound. So when you write something, you are going to write a goal that says something like, by June 2015, identified 7th grade students with one or more F grades in their first quarter will increase their GPA by 1 grade point. So these are the sorts of things that you can actually create a plan for. Action steps, timeline, and then how are you going to measure whether or not it's effective? Again, this is something that you'll cover in much more detail later on, but I wanted you to get oriented to what they are. The next piece is really important. You need to share your data. If we collect data, look at it, evaluate it, analyze it, and recognize that what we're doing is effective, but we don't share our results with our faculty or our administration, then it is absolutely no good. So most school counselors are not the best self-advocates, and they're not the best at tooting their own horns, but this is where you get to say, look what we did. You can do that online or in newsletters, present at faculty meetings, go to parent-teacher conferences, especially with those kids that you've been working with in small groups or individually. Go to parent nights and tell them who you are and the kind of work that you're doing. Give them some examples of effective interventions with the data that you've collected. And sometimes you may even want to go all the way to your district school meetings or to your superintendent. Share those stories all the time. They will help you to be able to do the kinds of things that will impact the students in the best way. This is the piece that we're really going to be focusing on in this class. You're going to be looking at a data set from a school of your choice, and I want you to look at it with a very analytical eye. Take those report cards and that published data to see if you can figure out underserved groups. Everything in those data sheets is disaggregated, which means that it shows the data per groups. They show ethnic groups, age groups, all of those different things. Socioeconomics is related to, they get that data from free and reduced lunch. So you can really get a good picture of who is not doing as well academically, who's not doing as well on tests. If there are attendance issues, you want to look for patterns, figure out which students need supports, and then you need to go and find evidence-based programs that will help to support those students. I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to seeing the work that you're going to do related to it in the future.